Listen.
If you do not understand white supremacy, what it is, and how it works, everything else that you understand will only confuse you. Now, sometimes people say, well, you mean everything that I understand will confuse me if I don't understand racism? Yes, because racism is the dominant political and religious motivating force among the people of the planet in all 9 areas of activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. That covers just about everything that any person, minute by minute, might be doing or engaged in any time of day or night, anywhere on the planet. It could be, but I'll respond because some people think that that is really significant, and it may be significant. I don't think it's very significant, and I'll give my logical, compensatory, counter-racist, logical reason. The white supremacists sometimes themselves say, you know what? A lot of black people were here before we got here. We came out of caves. We came out of caves like, and they don't use this expression, but they kind of imply like, it was 5 minutes ago. We just got here 5 minutes ago. You black people have been here on the planet for zillions of years. But boy, look at us now. So what does that say about you? And they got a point there. They got a point there. See, it's not how long you have been here. It's what you do while you've been here. That's what counts. Any teacher in any classroom will tell you that. That's pure mathematical logic. A teacher will walk into a classroom and say, Willie, how long have you been in this school, in the first grade? And Willie will say, I've been here in the first grade since I was 6 years old, and I'm 32 now. What does that say about Willie? And here comes little Johnny, and he spends 10 minutes in the first grade, and after 10 minutes, he's ready to graduate into postgraduate college. Why? Because that's what we're really saying. When black people start getting on that high horse and talking about how long they've been here. See, it's not how long you've been here. People can sit on a rock for millions of years. That doesn't count for anything. The earth is nothing but a big rock with some foliage on it. Yes, and all of the generations that have come up since the beginning of white supremacy. Now, that doesn't say that black people weren't doing things that they shouldn't do before that system. But all of the people who are breathing now have come up under the system of white supremacy. So we don't know anything else other than what they teach us. We can't even claim that, we know something that they don't know. See, that's how you measure that. What is it that black people know about that the white supremacists don't already know? I can't even name one thing, even though black people will say we have our schools and we have our own way of doing things and we got our style and all like that, and that we know all about how to, cultivate hair, and we know all about, this, that, and other that we do, and this is a black thing. We even had an expression for it. This is a black thing. You wouldn't understand. There's nothing that the white supremacists don't understand about their slaves. That's why they're slaves. They have a better understanding of their slaves than the slaves have of themselves. That's why they're slaves. Because if they had a better understanding of how slavery worked and how white supremacy worked, they wouldn't be subject to white supremacy. That's the mathematical equation. If you are smarter than the people that dominate you, you are not going to be dominated.
Okay.
That's the mathematical equation. Now, a lot of people are very, very unsettled with that. A lot of black people say, "Oh no, you can't go around saying that they're smart. Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. That makes me feel bad." Well, regardless of how you feel about it, is it true?
Supremacy
Yeah, do you even know what that is?
Do you even know how to spell?
Yeah, supremacy. S-U-P-R-E-N-C-S-Y. Supremacy. Do you know how to spell? Or are you just a bucula obtruculate? Because I'm not the one. I know a lot more than probably what you do. I'm probably older than you. I'm very sophisticated and I'm highly talented.
Spell it one more time for me.
Absolutely, and they do it even at the what we call the lowest level. They'll tell you that you are now a high school graduate. You say, well, how am I a high school graduate? Because I said so, and here's a piece of paper that I made out 15 minutes ago, and I put your name on it, and I'm giving it to you. Because I'm the one who determines what people know and what they don't know. I'm the God here. So I'm saying that you know these things. And so you take the piece of paper and you look at it and you say, now, okay, that's nice. It sure is pretty. You know, it looks good. Got my name on it too. Say, okay, I gave you the piece of paper saying that you now have a degree of knowledge that I have given you. And I put your name on it that I have given you. And you say, okay, now what can I do with this? I'll talk to you about that later. Well, what do I do in the meantime? Just try to stay out of trouble. Then I'm going to see to it that you get in. But you go over there to this building or that building and get in line, and we might have something for you. Depends on how I feel by the time you get there. By the time you get over there in my brother's place. Because you can't do nothing with that piece of paper except what we say that you will do with it. And you ought to know that by now, since we orchestrate everything that you do. So when black people start talking about, well, I mean, where did Neely Fuller get his degree in fighting racism? You tell them that he doesn't have one, and nobody else has either. You black people are my prisoners. You are my slaves. You have never gotten out of slavery because you're under the system of white supremacy. It's just more sophisticated now. It's just another form. Racism is a form of slavery. That's all it is. What is slavery? Slavery is mistreating people in a way and in a sophisticated form, if it's sophisticated slavery, that they don't know what to do about it. Slavery is nothing but a form of mistreatment. Subjugation and mistreatment. Domination, those two elements, and mistreatment. You dominate the person that you are mistreating, which means you dominate them in all of the areas of activity, including sex. And you also dominate them in the first area of activity, economics, how they use their time and energy. And in the second, education. So you tell a black person, you will announce to the world yourself that black schools are inferior, you know, or that the education that black people are getting is an inferior education. Then you jump to labor, one of the areas of activity, and say, you're not educated, so therefore you can't work here. You don't have an education. Well, you don't have an education because you've already declared that the schools that you go to is inferior. You've already told the world that. So therefore you got an inferior education, so when you come and look for a job, I mean, you're not qualified for the job. You can't go into the labor market because your education is inferior, which means, by proxy, you're inferior in doing anything of constructive value. So now, you're going to have a baby. Now watch this now. You're going to have another baby, and you're not going to have a job because I'm not hiring you on a job without an education. And I'm going to see to it you don't have an education because I never straighten out the school system. I've been arguing about the school system, about who's black and who's white and who will go to what school and how much money you'll pay to go to school to get a so-called education. All right? Now you're going to have a baby on top of it without my authorization? I don't think so. So what I'll do, since you can't sustain yourself and support yourself and your baby, then I'm going to see to it you can't have no babies. Now how about them apples? And that's the correct thing for me to do, because I've cut you off from all resources where you can justify having a baby. Not only that, when it comes right down to it, as you get huffy about it, you can't even justify your existence. Because you're not supposed to be walking around on my planet with no education, don't have no job, and I'm not going to give you one. And I'm not going to allow you to make one for yourself. And you think you're going to have a baby on my planet, on my watch? No, I'm going to have to tailor. Because that's what they're doing now. I call it racial population tailoring confusion. I've been calling it that for years. That's one of their 6 strategies. So they are tailoring the populations of the non-white people, because they're forcing them into an economic situation where they can only have so many babies. The white supremacists are correct about that. I mean, there are some people who run around in, I recently read something about some people in the Amazon, I believe, in what they call the jungle. I call it the forest. Mm-hmm. But they have babies all over the place. Just one right after another. And some of them die of what you call disease or natural causes and all like that.
Right.
But the females keep having them. But what do they have? Because the white supremacists allow them to have it, by the way. They too are under white supremacy. But on account of their primitive conditions, and that goes back thousands of years, and that's all they are used to, they can have unlimited babies because they're all going to be self-sustaining. That's the key. We're in an environment where the white supremacists will tell us, get an education and get a job, then they'll seal off the means by which you get either. And if a few black people seem to really want to get educated and don't give up on it, then what have they been doing in the last 15 or 20 years? They've been going up on what? The price of getting the education, knowing full well that your grandmother ain't got that kind of money. Because that's who you're going to be dependent on. You're just out of high school. You're going to depend on your grandmother, your mother, your sister, and your father who's looking for a job and gave up on it because he can't get one. So now you get into a school and the tuition just keeps going up and up and up and up. When here in the Northwestern Hemisphere, there were a lot of black people who had dishwashing jobs but went to college. They were Pullman Porter's children who went to college. They weren't making a fortune, but they could at least get in some type of college. The white supremacists looked at that, say, we're getting too many educated black people here. How do we stop them from getting an education? Go up on the tuition. Hey, that's a no-brainer. We'll tell them in order to get, even walk in this classroom, I mean, hey, you got to be talking about at least $10,000 just to walk in here and sit down. You haven't even been taught anything yet. But just to walk in and sit down, that's $10,000 right off the top. You black people, if you got it, as your grandmother got it, she's scraping together her little change and pennies and got her little coins in the handkerchief that she's been saving from that maid job till she got bad feet and whatnot, and that hospital job she had. I mean, now she can't help you. Nobody can help you because we got it rigged so nobody can help you. So now you got to drop out and look for a job. And we don't have a job for you because you don't have an education. See how they got that thing rigged? I'm telling you, these people are the shrewdest people that the world has ever seen. The people of the Roman Empire would be applauding, saying, boy, hey, right. They outdid us.
Now
Now, some people have said they've seen some cartoons of my work on the internet that have been presented, and that it pretty well embellishes what I have been trying to say in my textbooks. And to the extent that it does that, well, that has been, from what I understand, some people reported to me, a plus. Because they didn't understand what I had written very well, but when they saw those cartoons that just repeated what I was saying and attaching my name to it, and came right out of the book, the material did, they say that they better understood it. And I can understand that because people are kind of visual, particularly in the year 2021 now, more visual than ever.